Before I say anything or go any further, this review will contain spoilers for The Fallen Star. If you have not read it, or you are in the process of reading it, please do not watch this. Massive spoilers ahead. If, however, you're along for the ride no matter what, then let's get right into it. The Fallen Star by Claudia Gray is the final book in the first phase of the High Republic. Phase 1 was known as Light of the Jedi, which started with the book of the same title by Charles Soule. And this part of the story is wrapping up here, and what a wrap-up it was. I absolutely loved this book. It had a great payoff after a year of High Republic content, and it is exactly the type of story I was hoping for. We've spent the entire year learning about these new characters and this new age of the galaxy from so many different forms of print media. Adult novels, young adult novels, middle grade novels, comics, manga, graphic novels, short stories. It's a rather large list, and having it all come together at the end is really awesome. The Project Luminous writers definitely didn't want to hold anything back. Even in the marketing and promotion for this book, we knew something bad was going to happen, and not everyone was going to be safe. The name alone, The Fallen Star, led everyone to believe it was about Starlight Beacon, and cover art for the books and posters that came out with it confirmed our fears. Starlight Beacon is gone, along with a big chunk of characters we have met throughout these stories, some of which really shocked me when I read through the book. The main plot deals with the Nihil finally putting their full plan into action, which is crazy because they have very little presence in this book. We do have a few passages throughout that go to Marchion Ro's view aboard his ship, the Gaze Electric. And we also get some parts of the book surrounding the team of Nihil engineers that infiltrate Starlight to take it down. But that's really it. The rest of the book revolves around the Jedi trying to discover what is happening aboard Starlight, because there's a lot happening all at once. A quick breakdown of the plot would be that the Nihil form strategic attacks on worlds throughout the galaxy all at once. By doing so, ships are forced to escape and head to Starlight Beacon for safety, while the crew and Jedi aboard Starlight Beacon begin helping everyone docking with the station. Unknown to the Jedi, one of the ships that came in was crewed by Nihil enforcers that spent days aboard Starlight Beacon, sabotaging the station so well that no one would notice. Comms were rerouted, docking bay doors were magnetically sealed, escape pods were disabled, and all readouts were made to look like everything was fine. No one knew that there was a problem. Finally, the Nihil plants a bomb within Starlight Beacon that ruptures the structural integrity, and that's when the worst begins. This is when the Jedi find out they have a problem, and it's too late to call for help. All of the strategic attacks that were laid out by the Nihil were made so that the Republic's forces were spread far away from Starlight Beacon, so by the time anyone was able to arrive to help, it would be far too late. The Jedi struggled to find a way to regroup and explain to the guest of Starlight what exactly is going on. The blast managed to set off ray shields that strategically blocked off the top and bottom halves of the station. And now that everything is failing, Starlight is slowly falling into the gravitational pull of the planet Irium, where it will crash in just a few hours. So the Jedi pretty much have to find a miracle, as the entire station is now a ticking time bomb. So from that short explanation, it's pretty intense. I read the book pretty quickly because of it, because it filled me with so much anxiety. I wanted to make sure the character the book was currently focusing on was going to make it to the end of the chapter before I stopped for the day. And it was rough. Out of all of the Jedi aboard Starlight Beacon, only 3 make it out, because not only have the Nihil sabotaged Starlight Beacon, but the cargo they were carrying with them happened to be Rathtars and Marchion Ro's secret weapon, the Leveler, which we finally get a little more information on the Leveler, but I fear it won't be until Phase 3 until the answers surrounding it are given, or the reasons behind why Marchion Ro has several of these creatures at his disposal. I say this because the Leveler runs loose on Starlight Beacon, and while ineffective to non-Force users, the Jedi are drained of all of their life without being able to put up any kind of fight, sadly claiming the lives of Regald Cole, Orla Jareni, and Nib Asek, all falling to the same fate as Loden Greatstorm. Indira Stokes did come in contact with the Leveler, but was able to get away fast enough, leaving her almost comatose for the rest of the novel. She is not pronounced dead, however, and is able to get the medical treatment she needs at the end of the book, but seeing as she's not awake to give us any answers, we'll probably have to wait until Phase 3, seeing as Phase 2 is taking place 150 years before Phase 1. And it sadly does not stop there. 2 other Jedi do not survive. The Wookiee Jedi, Buryaga Agaburi, is dragged off into the shadows by 2 Rathtars and is believed to be dead, We never do get this confirmed, but as of right now, it looks like he did not survive. But we unfortunately also have to say goodbye to Jedi Master Stellan Gios, who sacrificed his life by steering Starlight's thrusters away from the city on Irium that it was projected to crash into. This book left me broken and shocked at the body count and devastation that occurs, but it's still a great story and has great subplots as well. The best one being that the crew of the vessel is back. Affy, Leox, and Geode are all trapped aboard Starlight Beacon and try to find a way to help out the rest of the ships that were damaged as they escaped the earlier Nihil attacks. They unfortunately have to deal with one of their big rivals who is also trapped with them, someone by the name of Coley Lynn, who has a grudge against Affy since she was the one responsible for destroying the Bind Guild. Coley spends every second he can trying to make alliances with people who would be likely to leave the crew of the vessel behind to die with Starlight Beacon. It unfortunately doesn't work for him as he makes a horrid attempt at holding a child hostage, but is killed after Geode steps in. Coley takes a shot right at Geode, but the blast deflects right back into him, killing him instantly, which I personally thought was great. The entire time, Coley's character was just really frustrating to me. They're all in a life or death situation, and all he could think about was getting even with Affy, and I just couldn't stand him. The other subplot revolves around Chancey Yarrow and Nan, who were captured and put into prison cells aboard Starlight Beacon. They are known to have been Nihil, but have since then renounced the title, but the Jedi find the timing of their decision to be a little too suspicious. This was my least favorite subplot until the end of the book. The Nihil crew find Chancey and Nan and set them free from the prison cells in hopes that they will help them complete their mission. But Chancey is just focused on leaving when she realizes that this was a suicide mission. There's really no way to leave. So Chancey and Nan literally spend the majority of their story wandering through Starlight Beacon in an attempt to escape. Their entire time they keep coming into dead ends because the Nihil have thought everything through and everything is sabotaged so much so that it can't be put back together. It comes down to the very end of the book where Chancey actually finds a way to save what's left of Starlight. She plans to put all of the remaining power to the thrusters in hopes of boosting what's left of Starlight Beacon out of Irium's gravitational pull. The Nihil crew tries to stop them, but Nan and Chancey have no problem fighting them off. But their mission does go askew when Elzar Mann finds them and without hesitation uses his lightsaber to cut Chancey Yarrow in half, dooming the station to now fall back towards the planet. All story elements together made up a fantastic story which will no doubt have massive repercussions in the novels to follow, mainly for Elzar. I just know he's going to be blaming himself for Stellan's death since he jumped the gun on Chancey, and Stellan had to take her place to steer the station away from the populated area of the planet. On top of that, the entire symbol of the Republic is now gone, and Marchion Ro has made it known to the galaxy that nothing can stop him. This single attack has proven that no one can stand in his way, not the Republic, and certainly not the Jedi. I am very intrigued to see what the aftermath of this incident will be, but sadly I feel we will have to wait for quite some time before we begin getting any of those answers. But that's everything I have to say about The Fallen Star. But I have to know your thoughts. Do you feel that this was a good way to wrap up Phase 1? Which death surprised you the most, and what do you think the follow-up stories will consist of? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. As always, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.